So today we are doing a full face of Drugstore makeup. For primer, I have two different options. First one is the Natio Bronze Glow Perfecting Primer and the second one is NYX Bright Maker. And I'm just gonna go in with the NYX one. This will add so much glow onto your skin. Primer done. And as always, we are gonna start with the eye makeup first. I always like to tape on the outer corner of my eyes because we are doing a wing today. When it comes to affordable concealers, these are the ones that I really like. This is Milani Conceal Plus Perfect Concealer. And the second one is L'Oreal Infallible Concealer. So this is a little light on me. I do have a darker shade to mix in. So I'm just gonna mix these two shades and apply. I'm just mixing these two shades in the back of my hand. Now I'm just gonna use this as my eyeshadow base. The concealer is all blended and now we're going to go in with the eyeshadow. Now let's move on to the eyeshadow. Today I'm using Natio. Natio is an Australian brand. I don't know if it's available worldwide, but you can always find a good affordable eyeshadow. Colourpop is really good and I really like Morphe's eyeshadow palettes as well. Morphe is not a drugstore brand, but they are quite affordable and reasonable, so you can always go get a Morphe palette. I really love the quality of Morphe's eyeshadow palettes, but today I'm just going to use this palette by Natio. Now I'm just going in with a brown shade towards my outer corner, slightly buffing it. I like to blend my eyeshadow with a fluffy brush in circular motion. Now I'm going in with a lighter brown shade, again on my outer corner, slightly taking it in, and then I'm just going in towards my crease as well so that I can define my crease. So adding that brown shade has defined my outer corner and slightly defined my crease as well, as you can see. Now I'm using a face powder. This is by Milani. On a flat brush, I'm just gonna take a tiny amount of this powder and I'm just gonna place it on my lids. Now I'm just gonna blend the edges so that it looks more nice and blended. And this is literally the easiest way to make your eyes look more defined. Now I really like winged eyeliner, so if you don't like winged eyeliner, you can simply skip that. I'm using this eyeliner by NYX. Now because we have the tape, we don't have to worry about being precise towards our outer corner. Let's take the tape off. Perfect eyeliner every time. Now let's curl the lashes. And for my mascara, I'm using the Maybelline's Sky High Mascara. I actually really love this mascara. It just gives me the nicest looking lashes. Done with the mascara. Now I also like to tight line. I'm using Maybelline Tattoo Liner. And to tight line, I simply lift up my eyelids and then I just run the pencil around. Now we're gonna move towards the base. When it comes to affordable foundations, I really like the L'Oreal foundations. I do have 3 different foundation options. Today I'm using the Infallible one. This is the closest match to my skin. I'm really used to using a foundation brush, but if you don't like foundation brush, you can simply use a beauty sponge. Look at how good the coverage is, but it still feels like super lightweight on the skin. I really love that about this foundation. This foundation is super easy to blend and work on the skin. Look at how beautifully that blends. Now before putting on concealer, I always like to put my contour or bronzer or whatever I'm using for the day, and then the blush, and at last I like to use concealer. So that's what I'm doing today as well. Now for my bronzer, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal. This is really good. If you are able to find a good cool tone shade in this concealer, it is going to work as a really good contour. But then this is a little too warm to be used as a contour. So I'm just going to use this as a liquid bronzer. Using my Real Techniques brush. This brush is actually my favorite when I'm using a contour or bronzer because look at the shape. I really like this kind of shape for my blush, bronzer and other stuff. Look at how nice it looks. Now for my blush, I really like blushes from Milani. This is a cream blush. These are liquid blushes. I will be using this liquid blush today. It is called Milani Cheek Kiss and it is in shade 160 Berry Smooch. Same as the bronzer, I also like to buff the blush in the back of my hand and then go ahead and apply it to my cheeks. Doing this ensures more even application and you will have more control over how much you put on. Look at how beautifully this blush blends and it is like extremely pigmented. It looks so good on the skin. It doesn't even disturb the foundation underneath. Now for my concealer, I'm confused between these two, but then I used L'Oreal on my eyelids, so I'll just show you using the Milani one under my eyes. With concealer, I always like to apply a tiny amount on my inner corner, a little tiny amount on my outer corner, a little bit in the middle, a little bit on my forehead, on my chin. Now with a concealer brush, I just simply blend. I don't like to drag my concealer or any product. I always pat it in. I just dab and blend. The Milani concealer provides such a good coverage and it just simply brightens my under eyes so much more. Now to set everything in place, I'm just going to be using the Milani powder. Lightly taking it on a brush. Now I'll just use this to set my under eyes. This powder is actually very, very similar to the MAC Studio Fix. But they have recently changed their formula, so I haven't tried the new MAC Studio Fix, but I really love the old one. So this one's similar to the old one. It literally brightens and blurs everything. Now I also like to add a little bit of brown eyeshadow below my lower lash line. I also like to add a powder blush on top. So I'm just going to use the Milani Rose Powder Blush. Just slightly add it on top. Okay, I forgot to buy a drugstore highlighter, so I'm just going to be using this shade from the eyeshadow palette as my highlighter. Oh, it worked. Now let's do the lips. I'm using the lip liner by LA Colors in shade Cafe. And yes, I'm overlining. Now for the lipstick, I have so many drugstore favorites. I really like the Maybelline Vinyl Ink. I have 4 different shades. I also like the Milani one. I also like these lipsticks by L'Oreal. Which one should I use today? Probably the Maybelline one. This one is in shade Cheeky. These lipsticks are super long lasting on the lips. Now the last step is setting spray. I really like this setting spray by Milani. I think I'm just going to use the dewy one. Close my eyes. This also smells so good. Now let's open my hair. And this is the final look. I really like how this look turned out and I really enjoyed doing this look with you guys. I hope you like this look as well. And feel free to let me know what should I do a full face of next. Until then, bye!